So I wanted to talk briefly about my first real proper folding knife. I mean, I had had a Swiss Army knife before this, but this was the first just a knife, basically. This one was given to me by my grandfather, who at the time was, a trucker who'd go all throughout Canada and States. And, oh man, I can't even remember how old I was. I feel like 14, maybe a bit younger. 14, 15, I don't know, something like that. He brought me back this knife here, which is the Kershaw Asset. Well, at the time, this was just simply amazing to me. It's a assisted knife, and a very old assisted knife. This used to be really good, but over the years, the springs just kind of died on it. And I really haven't carried this for just years, because of that. Always has a spot in my collection though, just because it's just such a, memories basically. This first proper knife that was given to me, first Kershaw I owned, really has a very special place in my heart. I think it's less than, but somewhere in the ballpark of $25 knife. 8CR, blade length is 3 1/4. Just GFN assisted, as I mentioned, and it used to be really good, like really snappy. I might at some point send Kershaw an email, just see if they have those springs. But this has been discontinued for years, so I highly doubt it. I mean, if you want to see how old it is, it's at the time when they were using hex-headed screws instead of Torx. Let's see. You can see some extremely blurry hex heads there. And it was never, if I'm being honest, it's not a great EDC knife. Just the shape of the blade was always awkward, trailing point. It's fairly good in the hand, but somehow it was always just the blade shape was always just a bit awkward. Just the way you held it. Yeah, you can see bevels on it have gone through. There we go. Bevels on it have gone through a lot of bad sharpening and being banged on rocks, and also as you can see the bead lash has worn away here from just slicing through stuff and touching sharpening stones and all of that. Scales are still solidly attached. Pocket clip's always been good for me. Sticks out quite a bit, but I don't know. The other thing is, it's always was a bit of a, it's a tiny bit more of a threatening looking knife, let's be honest. Not a knife that I choose personally for a young boy's first knife, but you know, this was my grandfather before I got into knives at all. You can see here where the bead glass is just worn off completely and it's been polished there. Still got a good lockup. I don't know, and ever since I first got this, I've always been a fan of Kershaw knives. Because even though, I mean, this knife is old and it's been through a lot. Like, it's probably in my pocket every day for 5 years, 6 years. And I'm not gentle on these things here. Tiny bit of blade play now, but that's to be expected, I feel. Yeah. That's the Kershaw Asset. Maybe one day I'll do something about that. But then again, maybe I won't. Thinking about it, I probably won't.